Welcome to a battlefield of minds. Two grandmasters face off, where every move cuts like a sword, one mistake. And it's over. Over. This isn't just chess, it's war disguised as strategy. Let's dive in, move by move, into this epic clash. Wesley So opens with e4. The royal pawn surges forward like a flag in the wind, claiming the center and announcing the beginning of war. Mustafa Yilmaz answers with c5. The Sicilian defense awakens. A daring counterstrike saying, "You want to fight? You'll get one." Wesley develops the knight to f3. The guardian of the king takes his post, eyeing the center and ready to clash. Mustafa mirrors with nf6. The Turkish grandmaster wastes no time, challenging the heart of white's formation. Wesley brings out nc3. His knights now dominate the middle. A pair of hungry tigers circling for the kill. Mustafa strikes with z6, reinforcing his c5 pawn, laying the foundation for a sturdy, yet venomous structure. Wesley plays h3, a sneaky little move, preventing any dark bishop from biting his knight later. And summon would be smart and calm. Mustafa responds with e6, solid as steel, opening a path for his light bishop and keeping everything under control. Wesley pushes g4, and here comes the chaos. A bold pawn storm. Fire in his eyes. No mercy in his heart. Mustafa counters with df5, striking in the center, refusing to back down. It's a duel of courage and calculation. Wesley captures x5. The battlefield cracks open. Tension exploding right in the middle of the board. Mustafa recaptures nxd5. His knight leaps forward like a lightning bolt, reclaiming lost ground with confidence. Wesley develops bd2, cool and calculated, defending his knight while setting a hidden trap behind his calm face. Mustafa slides bb4, the pin. The bishop's glare freezes white's knight, adding pressure to the center. Wesley trades nxd5, sharp and efficient, removing that aggressive knight before it causes more damage. Mustafa answers bxd h2, trading pieces like chess assassins, clearing the fog for a deadlier phase ahead. Wesley recaptures qaxd2. The queen steps into the light. Elegant yet deadly, scanning every corner of the battlefield. Mustafa castles kingside. Safety first. The Turkish king hides behind his loyal pawns, ready for the storm. Here we went as Steven, Wesley plays Ragon. The rook rushes into battle, hinting that g4 wasn't just for show, it's for war. Mustafa responds with q5, a cheeky check, forcing Wesley to defend before advancing further. Wesley blocks with qa3, calm under fire. Queen shielding queen. The Filipino star stays composed. Mustafa retreats K5, repeating the check from a new angle, testing the patience and accuracy of his rival. Wesley plays K3, a simple yet powerful wall, cutting off Black's queen from further harassment. Mustafa places N7, regrouping his forces, waiting for the perfect counterattack opportunity. Wesley moves NB3, the knight relocates to strike later, and eyeing juicy squares on the queen side. Mustafa slides QE7, smooth and subtle, connecting his rooks and readying the heavy artillery. Wesley castles long, boom, boom. The king finds shelter on the queen side. Opposite the wings, mean blood will spill soon, as each and as cannon. Mustafa answers with F5. He doesn't wait. The pawn storms forward, targeting Wesley's castled king. Wesley drops ND4, countering in the center, showing he's not afraid of the incoming thunder. Mustafa lifts Ra6, an ambitious rook swing, preparing to double the rooks and crush the flank. Wesley places Bf1, a quiet move of pure precision, and reinforcing defense, before striking back. Mustafa brings RB6. The rook slides across the ranks like a sniper, ready to aim at B2. Wesley answers NB5. Aggression renewed. That knight stares directly at the black queen and rook. Mustafa calmly plays Q5, slipping away from the threat while keeping his eyes on the prize. Wesley trades queens with QXI5, bold choice. The queens vanish, leaving behind pure tension. Mustafa recaptures NXE5, knights remain, and with them the sharpness of a double-edged sword. Wesley develops B2, smooth transition, connecting his rooks and solidifying his structure. Mustafa plays BD7, bringing harmony to his army, perhaps dreaming of a counterblow soon. Wesley leaps N6. The knight pierces deep into enemy lines like a dagger through armor. Mustafa responds B6, parrying the threat, steadying his defense. But the air is thick with danger. Wesley keeps the knight dance alive with NC4, repositioning with surgical precision. His piece now eyes the black pawns like a hawk spotting prey. Mustafa strikes back with Ra6. The rook returns to the front line, standing tall to defend, and maybe counterattack on the open file. Wesley plays Nefiv. That knight refuses to rest. It jumps straight into battle, like a gladiator yelling for more chaos. Mustafa places Raise 7. He shields his rank again, keeping things under control. But the pressure on his position is slowly building. Wesley pushes R6. The rook joins the assault, invading enemy territory with the force of a battering ram. D. Mustafa responds B8, pulling back the bishop, fortifying his king's defenses as if bracing for a siege. Wesley calmly plays F3, securing his knight, tightening the grip. and saying, "I'm not rushing, I'm suffocating you." An Endgame. Mustafa counters riot, the rook retreats but stands ready, and determined to fight another day. Wesley continues red dawn. Both rooks are now united. Wesley. Engines of destruction, humming in perfect harmony. Mustafa pushes f6, finally breathing some air, but at the risk of opening new weaknesses around his king. Wesley brings nd3, repositioning to strike again, his knight moving like a shadow behind enemy lines. Mustafa trades inks d3 tong, desperate to exchange the tormentor that haunted his side for too long. Wesley recaptures bxd3, no hesitation, "Now will mute your sages 3. The white bishop claims revenge and keeps the initiative blazing hot. Mustafa plays b6, quietly regrouping, trying to form a solid blockade before the storm breaks loose. Wesley answers before, laser-focused. His bishop stares at the black pawns like a hunter marking its target. Mustafa exchanges x4, clearing the board of the dangerous attacker. Simplifying to breathe again. Wesley takes back fc4, recapturing with a pawn, opening the f-file for potential rook attacks, a hidden venom rising. Mustafa plays rate, his rook steps up, preparing for counterplay and hoping to meet white's pressure head-on. Wesley swings, rb6, launching his rook deep, eyeing the queenside like a hawk circling above wounded prey. Mustafa replies re7, defending patiently, trying to keep every piece glued to survival. Wesley doubles rooks with rb5, now the pressure is unbearable. Two rooks, breathing down black's neck. Mustafa answers rate, refusing to surrender. But the position is starting to tremble under Wesley's weight. Wesley plays f4. The pawn storm continues, tearing open files for his rooks to feast on. Mustafa slides a7, regrouping his rook in defense, clinging to any chance of counterattack. Wesley follows rd6. The invasion deepens. The white pieces swarm like a coordinated strike team. Mustafa brings kf7. The king steps forward, desperate to hold his crumbling fortress together. Wesley calmly plays kc2, centralizing his own king, ensuring he controls both sides of the board like a general moving his command tent. Mustafa pushes re7, repeating the defense, hoping for any slip from the Filipino champion. Wesley answers c4. The pawns march together, tightening the noose, every move turning the screw. Mustafa plays g5, a sudden breakout attempt, fists swinging wildly to escape the chokehold. Wesley lifts rb6, cold and merciless, ready to punish any weakness that appears after black's desperate push. Mustafa shifts re7, staying in the backline, his rook acting as the last guard before disaster strikes. Wesley advances f5, the final pawn push that opens doors to destruction. Fire now spreads across the board, Mustafa takes f5. He accepts the challenge, but every capture just gives white more open roads to victory. Wesley recaptures f5. The rook slices through like a blade, entering the black position with fury. Mustafa plays h6, a small, trembling pawn push, like patching a wall while the fortress burns. Wesley moves rb5, doubling down again. The two rooks are now executioners, preparing the final blow. Mustafa answers kf6. The king bravely steps into danger, but courage alone may not save him now. Wesley responds rx5. Boom! The pawn falls, and white's rook claims the flank with deadly precision. Mustafa counters with b6, still fighting, trying to open breathing space. But the storm is far from over. Wesley lifts his rook and strikes with rx5, slicing through Yilmaz's defenses like a blade through silk, converting pressure into chaos. Yilmaz pushes h6, a breath of air for his cramped king, trying to stop the storm that's brewing around him. Wesley doubles rooks with rb5, a precision move, building a tower of fire that looms over the black ranks. Yilmaz steps his king to fix, trying to find safety in the storm, but the waves are getting higher. Wesley captures on f5, r5, obliterating black's last pawn shield and opening the gates of doom. Yilmaz answers with b6, a desperate attempt to chase the invader. But it's already too late. Wesley plays rx7, another clean strike, the rook now slicing deep into enemy territory. Yilmaz retaliates with rx7, an exchange made out of necessity, not choice. Wesley calmly shifts rb5, resetting the attack, preparing for the final phase of this magnificent war. Yilmaz captures back with rx4, clawing at whatever remains. But his position bleeds with every move. Wesley brings his king to d3. The monarch enters the battlefield, ready to lead the final assault. Yilmaz slides his rook to a1, lurking on the back rank, hoping for counterplay that may never come. Wesley grabs the b6 pawn, rx b6, securing material and domination across the board. Yilmaz plays roan, a quiet, hopeful move, but hope is running out fast. Wesley advances c5, pushing his passed pawn like a tank rolling through enemy lines. Yilmaz captures rg8, striking with one last roar, move. But it's more a scream than a threat. Wesley retreats his king to c4, calm under fire, centralizing and ready to finish the game. Yilmaz brings his king to a5, searching for activity, walking straight into the lion's den. Wesley answers with b4. The queenside pawns march together, unstoppable and merciless. Yilmaz pokes back with rh4, still trying to harass from behind. But the clock is ticking. Wesley slides his king to b5, closer and closer, his army swarming the black defenses. Yilmaz rook bites with rxev4, capturing. But at the cost of time and hope. Wesley coolly plays rebate. The rook repositions like a sniper taking aim at the enemy's last refuge. Yilmaz responds with h5, pushing forward. Desperate for any counter-threat. Wesley advances chicks, the pawn's power growing. A silent signal of the coming end. Yilmaz brings his king to 6, stepping into danger. As if to meet fate, head-on. Wesley checks with rdh, a thunderclap on the board, forcing the black king back. Yilmaz moves kf7, cornered, but still breathing for one more turn. Wesley doubles down with rd7, relentless, unyielding. The attack has no brakes now. Yilmaz retreats stateside, the black king suffocating under white's control, excepting on the northern and disparance. Wesley plays r7, elegant and precise. The rook becomes a dagger, pointed at the heart. Yilmaz pushes h4, perhaps his final act of defiance, refusing to go quietly. Wesley centralizes with kc5, the king now commands the field. Untouchable and unstoppable. Yilmaz brings his rook to four, a flicker of resistance. But no salvation remains. Wesley drives the b-pawn forward, b5. Another gear turns in his machine of victory. Yilmaz defends with r-fight, clinging to structure as the walls crumble around him. Wesley lifts re7, lining up the final attack. The finishing blow in sight. Yilmaz plays kbait, stepping into the shadows. But the storm is already upon him. Wesley pushes kb6, bringing his monarch to the front line. Bold and majestic. Yilmaz responds with r8, trying to freeze the pawns. But they burn through the board. Wesley checks with rb7, pure precision, forcing the king's final retreat. Yilmaz slides kite, cornered, planning-wished, helpless, awaiting the inevitable. Wesley finishes with 7. The pawn stands one step from glory. And Mustafa Yilmaz resigns. Wesley So claims a flawless victory. The video ends here. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. Please don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel to support me. Thank you again. Everyone, see you in the next video.